Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are cracking open one of the most mysterious and, let's face it, powerful qualities a person can have: charisma. We're going to be drawing from the work of Radislav Gandapas to really deconstruct what makes someone influential and figure out how that power actually works.
So, let's just dive right in with a pretty wild idea. What if everything you think you know about leadership is kind of wrong? The idea we're exploring today asks us to consider that maybe what we call leadership isn't really a quality in and of itself. Instead, it's just the visible effect of some much deeper, hidden forces at play.
To really get a handle on charisma, we first have to understand the foundations of power itself. So according to the source material, power basically rests on three pillars. We're going to start with the first two, which are the most common, but as you're about to see, they're also the most unstable.
Okay, pillar number one is what we call formal status. This is the power that just comes with the job title, right? The uniform, the corner office. It's not really about you personally. The position itself gives you authority. So think of a CEO, a prime minister, or a general in the army. But here's the thing. Relying on status alone is like building your house on sand. History gives us a ton of examples, but Marie Antoinette is just perfect. I mean, technically, she was the Queen of France right up to the very end. But her real power, that was gone long before. She was a queen in name only. And it just goes to show you how fast that formal power can completely dissolve. So if status is a shaky pillar, what's the next one? Well, that brings us to pillar number two, competence. This is the power you get from just being better at something than everyone else in the room. It's the authority that comes from being the expert, the brilliant surgeon, the person who just knows what to do. But competence has a ceiling too. And here's a concept I am sure many of you have seen in action. It's the famous Peter Principle. The idea is that people get promoted based on how good they are at their current job, right up until they land in a job they just can't do. The star coder becomes a terrible manager. It shows that this pillar of power can be just as wobbly as status. Okay, so this leads to the big question, right? If power built on just a title or just your skills can fall apart, what's missing? There has to be some other ingredient, something that makes a leader's power truly stable, even when things start to go sideways. And that third ingredient, that stabilizing force, is, you guessed it, charisma. This is the glue that holds everything else together. When your status is being challenged, when your competence is in doubt, charisma is what can keep you in the game. It's the secret sauce. So, what is it really? Well, here's a really powerful definition. Charisma isn't just about being charming or likable. It is the ability to inspire people so much that they will follow you almost anywhere, even into situations that are difficult, uncomfortable, or even dangerous. But to really get what charisma is, we have to bust some major myths first. It gets confused with a lot of other things, and honestly, the differences are absolutely critical to understand. First off, charisma is not the same as just being a celebrity. A pop star, their main goal is popularity. That's the end game. For a charismatic leader, popularity is just a tool they use to achieve a mission. Think of Muhammad Ali. He used his fame for a cause. For someone like Elvis, the fame was the cause. One draws people to an idea, the other just draws people to themselves. And this next one might be a little surprising. Charisma is also not the same as heroism. A hero, like, say, Batman, sacrifices themselves for the greater good. They run into the fire. A charismatic leader does the opposite. Their main job is to preserve themselves so that the mission can succeed, even if it means sending others into the fray. And this idea is captured perfectly in a quote from the classic movie Choppy Ive. It makes the distinction so clear. A leader's job isn't to be the first one to fall. It's to stay back, see the big picture, and guide the team to victory. In this world, self-preservation isn't being a coward, it's being strategic. Okay, so if charisma isn't about being famous, and it isn't about being a hero, then what is its actual function? How does it really work on us, on a psychological level? Well, the answer is surprisingly simple, almost primal. At its very core, charisma works because it provides two things that human beings desperately want, especially in tough times: a sense of security and a feeling of hope. It taps into that basic need to feel safe and to believe that a better future is possible. The charismatic leader makes you feel like if you just stick with them, everything's going to be all right. Now, this feeling of security and hope doesn't just come from nowhere. It's built very carefully.
This mind map here shows what our source calls the charismatic myth. And yeah, I know it looks incredibly complex, but don't get bogged down in the details. The big takeaway is that it's this whole web of connected things: psychology, communication, personal history, even a little bit of mystery that all work together to create this powerful aura. Let's break that down just a little bit more. The source basically organizes all those elements into four main areas. You've got the stuff that's visible to everybody, like a leader's unique way of talking, and then you have the invisible stuff, like their public image. Some of this the leader can control directly, but other parts, like their own personal mythology, are a bit more out of their hands. It's more about how other people see them. So what's the bottom line here? Let's pull it all together. First, power that's built only on a title or on your skills is ultimately really fragile. Second, charisma is that secret ingredient. It provides the security and hope you need to make power last. And maybe the most important point of all, charisma is not some magical gift you're born with. It is a skill. It's something that can be learned, that can be developed, and can be managed. And that leaves us with one final and pretty important question to think about. If charisma is a powerful tool of influence, and a learnable one at that, it's probably worth asking yourself, who, right now, might be using it on you? And where are they trying to lead you?